You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It is another episode of the Impact Implosion here on the Marks Podcast Network. As always, I am Seth Drake, and on the other end, this ugly sweater to I broke my leg on this motorcycle, Mr. Mike Poland.
Oh my God, we're gonna get to that later, and that stuff's great.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is great. But first, we got a bit of news. Corgan Gate continues.
Oh, good God.
As the deal is, and why Anthem has these issues, is Anthem is trying to say they have not bought TNA outright yet. Despite the fact that they basically have. Because
they released a press release last week.
Because despite the fact that he owes with the sell, they would have to owe Billy Corgan $2.7 million instead of the $1.8 million, which Anthem will pay the $1.8 million, but he must drop the lawsuit. And he doesn't want to do that, especially since they're not paying him the full amount or not allowing him to put that stuff into funds.
Yay.
Also, another issue, Lagana resigned. Dave Lagana.
And he's not the worst of the two guys on the creative staff.
Or the several guys on the creative staff. More news conference. Stixie introduced Eric Nordholm as a member of the board of managers, and that the board will be guiding the company forward, and they're hoping to go back on the touring schedule and strengthen its relationship with India TV. Sony 6.
Oh, goody.
But in a strange twist in this they all said Billy Corgan's no longer with the company. So, in a strange twist, the automated message noting that this call was being recorded was heard, leading to an abrupt end of the conference call.
Whoops!
Oopsies!
Gotta turn off that phone.
And there's more. Anthem says
TNA technical support.
Yep, TNA technical support. We will come by. And Joey Styles has been blocked by TNA.
Who hasn't?
And, of course, there is more. As always, Fight Network is looking as a way to buy the company. The way they are considering buying the company is it's going to be finalized in 20 to 30 days, they say.
Fascinating.
They want to basically get U.S. distribution and use TNA as one of the ways to get it branch onto the U.S. And they want original content, owned content that's not stuff owned by other people. They want to own it, which means if they go to the U.S., they would have to black out their UFC coverage because other people own that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, people will be paying more attention to the company as a business because new deals. They feel they'll be paying more attention to them. And they will have interviewers who will be asked to be independent. So, basically, it's a whole lot of rigmarole. Mm-hmm. But still, they don't want to pay Billy Corgan until he drops a lawsuit. And they just want to pay him $1.8 million instead of the $2.7 because we haven't technically bought them yet, even though you're funding money to them.
Air quotes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely air quotes.
So many air quotes.
So many. So let's get to the show.
Yep.
So we start off recapping Eddie Edwards retaining the title, as I said, in sort of controversial fashion.
Yep.
He comes out. Josh says last week should put rest those doubts on Eddie's title reign. Unfortunately, they didn't. So shut up, Josh. That's our shut up, Josh moment of the week.
Shut up, Josh.
Yep. So, and we're going to basically ignore this controversy and he tells Franklin that you feel like you got screwed? Well, just keep on winning and I'll fight you again. Basically, he's got to earn the right to fight him again. This is our face, people. The good guy.
And who will actually have to fight tonight?
And who will Eli Drake have to... who Eddie Edwards will have to fight tonight as Eli Drake comes out. And the fans are more over with him. He's more over with them than Eddie is.
Eddie's a bad promo, by the way.
Absolutely, and that's why the fans are happy that Eli Drake's out here. Drake
Save
keeps
the segment.
and he keeps trying to tell them to shut up.
Well, we don't have much choice on who to like because the other guy is terrible on the microphone.
I know. They still love him. They still love him, even though he tells them to shut up.
He's the Rock.
Shut up.
The Rock.
And here comes EC3, and also EC3 is more over than Eddie Edwards.
Well, at least that makes sense. He's the face here.
Yes, and EC3 wearing some terrible shorts.
Oh, God.
But EC3 is betting on Eddie to win it, betting the house on Eddie to win it because Eddie gets over now because EC3 gives him some support. And Eli takes the pop back saying, shut up, y'all. And EC3 says, Eli Drake, you're not ready. And Miracle and Maria come out. Miracle needs to cut that rat tail and immediately goofs up the promo saying EC3 has bet the house on Eli winning? No, he bet the house on Eddie winning. You bet the house on Eli winning?
Don't you listen?
Yeah. I know they both have an E on it, but there's a difference between the two men.
Yes.
So Miracle says he's going to win. He's going to save this company. And Eli calls him a dummy for stealing his dummy line.
Yeah.
He calls them all dummies. And Miracle sneak attacks EC3. Eli attacks Eddie. Here comes Moose to save the day.
Here he comes to save the day.
And Moose and Miracle in a qualifier for a Fatal 4-Way, which I thought would be later tonight, but it's next week.
Correct.
Thankfully, it's next week. And Maria interferes immediately, gets ejected, and Miracle hits a pile driver, but Moose kicks out at 1.
God damn it, you're killing another finisher.
Yeah, god damn it, Moose. That's a fucking pile driver. That ends careers.
That was a banned move for I don't know how long.
Yeah. So many people, you get it, you do, if you're gonna kick out of it, kick out at 2.5. Like most people do.
Yes.
And of course, Miracle wins by countout because Moose idiotically ran into the steps.
We must keep him strong.
Yeah. Even though Moose is an idiot. You just made Moose an idiot by running into the freaking steps. Even though Miracle had already moved.
Ugh.
So Al Snow is here, and he says he's back from injury from those terrible Hardys. But, I'm happy because my boys, the Tribunal, say they have a surprise for me tonight.
Oh, boy, you're not going to like it.
Oh, boy. Nope.
And nobody's going to like it because I think that's next, isn't it?
We get TNA Hardcore Harvest advertisements. So basically it's buy some shit as we need your money, Shug. But Brother Nero rides to the Hardy compound. And Rebby says Matt's not been the same since the fall last week. So he goes downstairs and Matt Hardy is in an ugly ass sweater. Some denim, nice short pants, some denim pants, nice, not denim pants, just some nice pants. He's Senior Benjamin's watching and Matt Hardy's building.
Yes.
Senior Benjamin's in his chair and Senior Benjamin tries to speak to him in Spanish and Matt's like, I don't know Mexican. I can't speak Espanol. I can't speak Spanish. So, yeah. And Matt Hardy, and he's like, what are you doing, Matt? Who are you again? I'm Brother Nero.
Who?
And he's like, we're the tag team champions at TNA. It's wrestling. That's at rest. No, we're not. And is that wrestling? That's fake stuff. That's a business that's not good. No, I am a blue collar engineer. I build things.
And
he's like,
if he built Skarsgård.
Yes. So yes, this is the men. It basically ends this segment with them shaking their heads when that's Matt's delusions. Cause he is building another dining room, even though they already have one. Yes, he's building a second dining room.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So Tribunal is out, or should I call them Le Shield, since that's what they look like.
The most useless tag team on the planet.
And Basile Baraka has now those football little paint things under his eyes.
Oh, more paint.
Yeah, and now they're called Brutal Basile Baraka and the Judge Baron Dax.
Brutal Basile Baraka. That's a mouthful to say.
Yep, and Al Snow comes out, he says, I'm thankful to you guys what you did to the Hardys last week. He thanks the fans for welcoming him back. And he's like, you did that for me, it felt so great. And Tribunal says, we didn't do it for you. We never did anything for you. We never needed you. You were right. I
brought you here.
Yeah, you were right hanging on to our coattails. Like, what? He's like, no. And so they attack Al Snow. And here comes Mahabali Shera.
Who also gets beat up.
Because after them tell him, go! Get out of here. Shera tries to help Al Snow, gets his ass kicked.
Way to build up your baby face there.
Oh, and Shera makes a stave on Al Snow. Why? Who the fuck knows?
Just because. Bad booking all around in this segment.
And next match is EC3 versus Abyss?
That's weird.
Oh, by the way, if someone mentioned Al Snow does the Shera shuffle, I quit watching TNA. And I'm like, Shera can't dance anymore. Don't you remember what Tyrus told him a few weeks ago as his mentor? And he's like, I don't trust Tyrus. He's dubious at, he's got too much bad dancing experience to be trusted. So, anyway, that happened. Jesse is at the parking lot, ready for Aaron Rex to arrive. He wants to kick his ass.
I like the babyface fire from Jesse. I wish they wouldn't keep reforming him with Robbie E, though.
Making him still a bromance, even though technically he should be on his own. EC3 versus Abyss, who is alone for some reason.
Yep.
This was a match, and EC3 won with a sleeper hold, or $1 million dream.
The chokeout hold.
And Abyss taps. He does not even pass out. He taps.
Without decay, he is nothing.
He is pathetic.
Next.
So we go to a segment to hype up Eddie and Eli with interviews from both, and that's all it is. And then we go back to the Hardys compound.
Oh,
where the Hardys are like, I think we got an idea to get him out of his funk. And Matt Hardy comes, come, I have made a delicious lobster bisque.
Dinner's ready, folks.
And they're like, wait, we got this idea. I fade away. They all sing, I fade away and classify myself as obsolete. Then they wait for Matt. And Matt's like standing there, and then he goes, isn't it ironic? Don't you think? Oh, I love that. I love that song, Alanis Morissette. And Brother Nero goes, come, Matt, we're going for a ride. Can I trust this guy, Debbie? It's Revy. So, yes, he can't even remember his own wife's name. So, do I trust Brother Nero?
He's your brother.
Yeah.
And no.
And he takes him out for a ride. And when he asks, where are we go? Where's the car? Oh, no, we're going on two wheels. We're going on my dirt bike. The same dirt bike I broke my leg on.
And that's why you shouldn't trust him.
And Matt's like, huh? So, yes. So, JB talks about his experience. JB comes to the ring. He talks about how great Gail Kim is. Basically, it's a BJ. Fellatio, yes. And then introduces her, and Jade's about to make an announcement tonight, but she wants to call out. Gail Kim is about to make an announcement. She wants to call out Jade, but now for the announcement, Gail needs Jade to believe that she believes in her and that she's the future of the women's wrestling. And then she's about to do the announcement, but here comes Rosemary and Decay. And for the best part, Rosemary beats up both Gail and Jade. Abyss holds JB, basically chokes him and gets JB out of there.
So it's basically the reverse of when EC3 did this to Spud on that one Impact from Hammerstein.
Rosemary puts Gail in a reverse chokehold,
and nobody makes a save.
And Jade gets held. Abyss puts a trash can on Jade as Steve is holding her, and Rosemary drop kicks Jade while she has the trash can on her. And Decay laughs at the carnage. Honestly, I do like this, that they've actually finally pulled the trigger with Rosemary.
Yep.
Finally.
Now if they just did it with Allie.
Yeah, which will be later. But next match will be
a Allie in a Brandy Rhodes segment at some point in the show?
Yeah, there is, but it's not there yet. But next world title contender qualifier is a triple threat match between Trevor Lee, Rockstar Spud, and DJZ. I'm rooting for Rockstar Spud here, but
nope.
Basically, that doesn't happen, even though, as I'm going to mention why it makes sense for Rockstar Spud, but basically, Spud hits a low blow on the champion, which takes him out, and Trevor Lee hits his Fisherman Buster. So, Trevor Lee wins. Here's the problems with giving this win to Trevor Lee.
He's nothing!
No, that's not it. This is a fatal four-way, and as you're going to notice later, because Franklin's going to be in it too, I hate to spoil that, but Franklin's going to, so it's going to be EC3
against
Franklin,
rivals,
Miracle, and Trevor Lee. What would have made sense
is not like the other
is Rockstar Spud, since EC3 would be fighting 3 former rivals of his. Or if you're going to go the face route and have 2 faces and 2 heels, you do JJZ. You don't do Trevor Lee. Because it's fucking random.
Doesn't fit.
He doesn't. So, backstage, Aiden O'Shea tells Robbie E. and Grado that the boss wants them to have... What?
You've got a match tonight.
You've got a match tonight. The boss wants you to have a match tonight. And the boss is Billy Corgan, who will not be appearing, of course. And you're a tag team. Are we fighting each other? No. You're a tag team. You're fighting with each other. You're a tag team. It's a handicap match. Well, who supports all we're facing? He's mad. It's Franklin. And yes, my boss, my Aiden O'Shea impersonation sounds like, for some freaking reason, Christopher Walken. So, then we see Allie backstage on a tablet watching a Braxton Sutter match, and Brandy says, "Oh, you like him? He seems to be interested in you." And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, I've been having a problem. Cough.
No, it's just in real life, those two are dating.
No, they're married.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandy Rhodes asks her for some help. She has problems with Maria and Sienna or Van Ness, and she knows that they're picking on Allie, the chipmunk, and Allie's like, I can't. I work for Maria. And she's like, walk away with them. Come with me. Tag with me. And she's like, sorry. No.
Yuck.
Sorry. So she leaves. And that's the end of that segment. And
what Braxton
in the ring
match was she watching, I wonder?
Probably one of those
Team X Gold.
Yeah. The CTF Championship. Because I am not calling it Team X Gold anymore, and especially when they don't even understand the fucking rules of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's just a colossal clusterfuck. But anyway.
It is. But Robbie E. and Grado are in the ring. They get a jobber entrance.
As they should.
Here comes Franklin, and Josh basically says, this tag team is screwed. They're screwed. But
Bobby Lashley, that's my man.
Here's the problem, booking-wise.
They gave Grado and Robbie too much offense.
Well, no, that's why the match, but booking this match, putting this match together, here's the problem. What if, for some strange reason, TNA decides to have Robbie E. and Grado win? It becomes a 5-way, but you basically admitted it's a 4-way.
Somebody gets taken out before the match.
But you basically admitted that you've basically already spoiled it. That this tag team can't win.
Whoops.
Even though you never knew it was going to be a tag team who was going to be fighting Franklin, and you never knew this was even an option, but you never even considered the idea.
Damn it, Gaborik, you're an idiot.
Yeah. So it's stupid. But I'm not going to be too mad. Franklin kills these two. Spears Robbie E for the win. I mean, one of my favorite parts is he got Robbie E in the air doing a suplex, and Grado's trying to get off him. Let him go. And all that stuff. And Franklin just pushes him. Just get the fuck out of here. So, yeah, because of this, now Trevor Lee being at his match makes TNA dumbasses. Because, yeah, it's a random fucker in there. Trevor Lee's not only the 80s jobber, he's a random fucker now. Random nitwit. A goober.
The fall guy.
Yeah. The guy who doesn't belong. The guy who has no problem with any of these people, and it adds nothing. You know, sometimes you gotta have a story to these matches. And just regular wrestling matches. Mm-hmm. We learned that from the World Title Series.
We all saw what a colossal mess that was.
Yeah, where you had random matches where barely there were any storyline. They just fought each other every week, and every week you'd be like, D, this show sucks. This show's boring. So we go to Aaron Rex, who's in his car, and he's like, you know, this title looks great, but even greater, my reflection on it. And he basically, I have no idea what Jesse wants. I guess he wants to congratulate me on my win because I beat him again.
You're walking into a trap, Aaron.
So he goes to Jesse, and he's like, what do you want? And all I can think of as he's asking this is the shirt Aaron Rex is wearing. It looks terrible, and it's got, like, laces on the part where you put your head in. It's got laces in the front of it. And it looks like kind of a old, like he's a freaking buccaneer or something. Look like he might be a pirate. So Jesse starts kicking his ass. The forklift is there. They don't use it, sadly. Aaron runs away into a trailer, and all it is Jesse beating him up with one funny moment of Aaron's face to the window, smushed to the window. And basically, Aaron rakes Jesse's eyes and gets in the car and runs away.
He'll escape.
So then we go back to Nero and Matt. And Jeff's riding this bike, and you see Matt in the back like, like he is scared. And they get to the Lake of Reincarnation. And Matt says, that ride was terrible. And he's like, Nero, talk to Skarsgård. This is the Lake of Reincarnation. Talk to Skarsgård. Who's Skarsgård? That boat. Why would I talk to a boat? I don't know what you do. And you have magic and stuff. I don't understand. So he tells, and the scribe shows up and he's like, who are you? The scribe, the one who just shows up to write things. He shows up. Matt doesn't know who he is. Jeff tells him, get in the water. He's like, no. He wades in. He's like, no, that water's cold. And it's disgusting. And he basically leaves. Nero's like, fine, I'll go fight DCC on my own. And Matt says, you have some anger issues. But through all of this, you can hear someone snickering in the background. Someone could not keep their composure. Neither could I. So time for the world title match. And now that it is wrestling, Eddie gets an Eddie chant.
Yep.
Because, yes, Eddie's over only when he's wrestling. Otherwise, we will root for anyone else. So, this match is pretty good. Really had a good spot where Eli Drake had Eddie on his shoulders. It looked like he was going to do an Oklahoma Slam or the old Power Slam maneuver.
The running Power Slam. The
running Power Slam thing. And basically, he does an alley-oop thing with it where he just flips him, reverses it. Just a reverse version of it, just flips him. And his back hits I'm not explaining this well, I understand that. Basically pushes him off his shoulder. And Eddie's back hits the apron. It's a pretty nice move. It's rare I've seen that. Eli Drake hits a blunt force trauma, and Eddie kicks out at 2. 2.5, mind you, not 1 like Moose would. And Eddie gets a Boston Knee Party for the clean win.
Yep.
I kind of am misfeeling. Eddie finally gets a clean win, but then again, Eli Drake should have probably won this match, and his feud with DC3 probably should have been the better situation here. I mean, seriously, those two should have a world title.
They're also making this Bound for Gold thing mean nothing.
Oh, yeah. They've done that, yeah. 2 years in a row, it's just ended on a random Impact.
Yep.
So here comes DCC, and they beat up Eddie Edwards after clapping for him. Eddie attacks them, actually.
And then they reveal.
They're Eddie Kingston, Shakara's Eddie Kingston, who the commentators don't know, some mysterious guy, Bram, and James Storm.
Bram apparently back from wherever he was when he got kidnapped.
He's not a zombie, sadly.
Nope, he's just a guy.
Yep. And fans, despite them being supposedly heels, the fans chant "Welcome back."
The weird thing is, too, this month's One Night Only, which I haven't seen yet. I hope to see it maybe this weekend. But one of the matches is James Storm versus Bram.
Oh, yeah, I've read the spoilers of that one. That was the one where James Storm says he's leaving TNA, and he wanted his last match be with Bram and stuff, but that he was going to be coming back to wrestling with a friend. That's basically all that was. He won the match, by the way.
Yep. It's just weird how they air that match, and then they aired this with James Storm and Bram as a team, as partners, like a week later.
Yeah. But, I give this Impact actually a B. They actually didn't fuck this up this week. Surprisingly, they didn't fuck this one up. They didn't decide, oh, hey, let's have Eddie not get a clean win, or Eddie barely win the title, like he did with Cody.
Yep.
Or ref fast count.
Lashley.
For no fucking reason. And nobody brings it up that it was a fucking fast count. Everyone basically just like, oh, anyone. He proved himself, even though he didn't. But, so, what'd you think of the show?
It was okay. I'd say like a B or a B minus.
Yeah, I don't give minuses or pluses, as you know.
Right.
But, yeah, it was a good show. I'm hoping this is the Impact's weekend instead of the show where they find some way to fuck something up. Although I doubt that's going to happen because it's TNA, and they found some way to screw up.
Yep.
But yeah, this is a good show. Do you have anything to sell?
No, I'm all set for this week.
And I am too, so Miley, we are heading to bed, and good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.